G'day Bulldogs fans. Seems like there's about 5 spots left for the top 30 for next year. The cap space is really, really tight. I know what Gus said. I'd say there's like another signing there, or some stuff's happening in the background, because when I add up the estimated figures, it's no wonder they said we're in cap trouble, because it's hard to imagine how how we're 700 or 800 below the cap at the moment. I think with RFM signing, that probably leaves us 400, and we've got to fit 4 or 5 players in. I don't know how they do it. And that's what they're sort of navigating. There's probably only 3 players that they could look to move on, and they would have to pay some of their contracts. They're 3 overpaid players. And I'm not saying that they're not good players or players we want to keep because we like them or anything like that. It's just players that you can actually sell. You can't. It's not going to be easy to get rid of some players in the side which are contracted for next year, that just because we don't like them or fans don't like, how well they play or whatever. So let's get right to it. Those 3 players that they can sort of move on and pay for some of their salary to free up some space would be Luke Thompson, who's on 850. I think the maximum another club would pay for him would be 500. That's just my opinion. And then we'd look at Kyle Flanagan, who I'm starting to warm to more and more the more he plays. He's doing his best for the club out there, and he's looking happy, which is good. I still love Bailey Biondi-Odo, but Kyle's going alright. He's on 500 next year, and Corey Allen's on 500. So there's $1.8 million for 3 players. And, with 2 of those players on spine money, $1 million for 2 spine players isn't too bad. But it is, those 2 players aren't worth that to any other side in the competition, is what I'm saying. Alright, so they're the 3 that could potentially move on. I'm just going to assume they're 3 that are staying, and that maybe, or one of those may go, and we basically need one of them to go, is what I'm saying, in order for us to have space to keep 5 or 6 players. So the players that I'll get to the 5 or 6 priorities that I would keep, but we'll start with the players that are probably I'm going to rule a line through and suggest that these players won't make the top 30, and that's just my opinion as well, but it seems like a no-brainer. I think Brandon Wakeham, he's lived his dream playing for the Bulldogs in first grade. Handy little player, good player, but I don't think he'll be getting a top 30 contract for next year. Joe Stimpson's another one, handy player, good player, getting some fitness, doing a good job, getting better every week, more confident. But I think he won't be at the Dogs next year. And Tui Katoa, another young talent that had a terrible injury. He's made a comeback, been playing in Mount. He's named on the extended bench for us this week, which is good for him. But I think Tui has played his last game for the Bulldogs. So I don't think he will be playing for the Bulldogs in 2023, unless they keep him on as a New South Wales Cup player. There's always that chance. Or he could play for Mounties or something like that. Pardon me, a little yawn. Been talking a lot this morning. So here we go, putting myself to sleep. The players I would keep: Jackson Tapine, for reasons that many fans can talk to. I think he's really maturing this year. In watching him play, looks like he's matured, and I hope we get to see him over the next 4 or 5 weeks really dig in and play really well, and justify the faith that the fans have had in him, and earn himself a contract for next year in the top 30. The second player is Jarrell Skelton. Definitely one I would definitely keep. His game excited me and many others in that New South Wales Cup. It wasn't first grade, but when Sonny Bill first played first grade, I got excited. He did a fantastic job in his debut, and I think this kid will as well. No-brainer signing. Credence Toya. That try he scored, Reece Hoffman, was a great offload to him. But he had a lot of work to do, and that was a classy try that was. Which got our kickstart, our comeback in New South Wales Cup against the Raiders last week. Really good effort there by Credence Toya, and I think we need to get him into the top 30. Curtis Moran's another one into the top 30, I think. Showed enough in a few games for us. High energy player and with maturity. And as he develops and grows even more, I think he could be a really good little handy, energetic energizer bunny for the Bulldogs. Harrison Edwards, they got him from the Roosters Junior. He looks really classy. He's going to be making his debut, and I hope he proves me right, and I hope he earns himself a spot in the team. Players like Josh Stuckey, I think he's already contracted, but to New South Wales Cup, I'm not sure how that works. And then we've got a choice. Matt Dory's one. So I've got Skelton, Tapine, Toya, Edwards, and Moran is 5 players, and Matt Dory's the 6 players. I hope they keep those 6. And then you got Declan Casey as well. For me, it's a toss of the coin with some of those players. Do they keep Declan, or do they bring in Credence Toya? It's a hard one. It's a real hard one. I really like Credence, and I think he is potentially to me the better talent. But who knows? I've been wrong about many things before, and it's such a hard decision to make. But that's who I'd go with, Credence over Declan. But I'd be happy for either to earn himself a spot, and either way, I hope they can stay in Bulldogs colours next year as New South Wales Cup players, and add to our depth that way if they can't crack a top 30 spot. That's my thoughts on it. I'd be interested to hear other people's thoughts. We still look a bit light on in the forwards for next year. As far as big men go, we're going to need players like Chris Patolo and Tavita to really stand up next year, losing Paul Vaughan, because we can't afford to keep him. There'll be more chat about the top 30 coming up. Looking at doing a podcast with a couple of other Bulldogs fans who will give different opinions and stuff. So tune in for that. That could be coming in a couple of weeks. Just trying to get together a couple of mates that from different areas. I'm living in Queensland. There's a couple of local Bankstown boys that have some really strong opinions, which would be cool to hear. Anyway, guys, thanks for all the subscribers and the support, and the good feedback, the negative feedback. It's all feedback to me. Take care and stay safe out there. All right, cheers, guys.